Hello, my name is Anneta and this is PEPELT, and the topic of the month is Planet Earth. In April, most educators all around the globe talk offline and online about keeping the planet clean and healthy. The book that I would like to share today and recommend is Compost Stew, an A to Z recipe for the earth, and it's been written by Mary McKenna Siddals and illustrated by Ashley Wolff. In a minute, I'm going to tell you about the book. I just would like to share with you how I worked on the topic with my students. Of course, it was online teaching because we all face now the challenges of distant learning. So we started by 3 R's, yes, reuse, reduce, recycle, and explain and discuss and talk and brainstorm about what does it really mean to reuse something, what does it mean to reduce the trash, and what do we recycle, yes? So we come to the things that we recycle, that is glass, paper, plastic, and metal. And then we came to a question, can we recycle plants? And at this point, again, on YouTube, you have many very interesting materials about compost. So we came to the topic of compost, and then I asked them to think, after watching a number of films that show how compost is made, I prepare a handout with all the letters of the alphabet, and I send it for homework. I ask students to think about something organic that we can put into compost, starting with each letter of the alphabet. And as you can guess, some letters were quite challenging, like X or Y or Q, so they had to look a bit farther and think about different things, like X. What is in the book is Christmas needles, Christmas tree needles, and so on. Another option is to construct a mini book, yes, with different letters of the alphabet, and then children can write and draw some items, so they can end up with a little picture dictionary or a little mini book dictionary with different organic waste. And at this point, when we shared all the vocabulary that children brought into the lesson, I introduced the book. And this book is very, very interesting. Compost Stew, an A to Z recipe for the earth. You see, it starts in a very, very nice way, because we can see the worms, how they work in the compost. And then it starts, environmental chefs, here's a recipe for you to fix from scratch to mix a batch of compost stew. And then it says ingredients: A apple cores, B banana bruised, coffee ground with filter used, dirt clods crumbled, eggshells crushed, fruit pulp left behind all mashed, and so on it goes. And then there are elements of procedure. Just add to the pot and let it all rot into compost stew. And then it continues like jack-o'-lanterns, kitchen scraps, laundry lint, and so on. And then again, there are elements of procedure. Just add to the pot and let it all rot into compost stew. Take tea bags plucked from long hot swimmings and so on and so forth, and then just add to the pot and let it all rot into compost stew. There is a chorus repeating. And then, more procedure, moisten to slightly, cover, let brew, and when the cooking is complete, Mother Earth will have a treat. Dark and crumbly, rich and sweet. Now open the pot, and what have you got? Compost stew. Where can you go from there? One possibility is when children have their lists, or the list that we produce together in the classroom, they can create a song. They can use well-known tunes that you know, or you've already taught to your students, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, yes, starting like apple, cores, banana, peels, carrot, shreds, and so on and so on. Or you can, from super simple songs, I think it goes, where you have a song that goes, let's make compost, you and me. It's so easy, 1, 2, 3, and then you go with the vocabulary that you've got, or you could go into rap, like just apple, cores, banana, peels, carrot, shreds, and so on. It just depends what kind of ideas your students will like, or they will come with. Now, after that, probably there is, if we are somehow touching upon the area of science, so it's a good idea to make compost stew, invite students to make compost stew, and it's very easy if you just take a plastic bottle, you cut the top of it, and then you put it this way so you can water it later on, and then you can ask students to put it on the balconies or somewhere outside to observe what happens, yes, and to perform a kind of experiment. They can predict what would happen after certain numbers of days, and they can observe, they can write down their observations. Just, it depends how far would you like to go with this kind of science information. From the linguistic point of view, a very interesting thing that we can explore as a follow-up activity is writing a recipe. For that, I show children different recipes and from my collection, from my private collection, and I ask them to identify main elements of the recipe. So they rightly identify that it is divided into two main parts: the ingredients and the procedure. So in the ingredients, they will just write what they've got, coming back to the alphabet. It might be, or they may select what they want. And in the procedure, you will focus on what you have in the book already. It's words like take, add, and then kind of repetitive chants that goes there. Just add to the pot and let it all rot into compost stew. It's all included in the book because it starts with the ingredients. Yes, it says ingredients, and then you state all the ingredients. And then there is a repetitive chant like just add to the pot and let it all rot into compost stew. And then you have the word take. Yes, take some more things. And then you have more things again, like moisten to slightly, cover, let brew. So what you're supposed to do, what is your role. And then now open the pot, and what you've got, compost stew. My students enjoy the idea very much. I worked with students aged 8, 9, and they especially like searching the internet for ingredients for the compost stew. But I think writing a recipe is also very important, because it gives them a very important, I would say, lifelong skill. Is just to read recipes, to write instructions, and to be able to write a recipe by themselves. Well, I do recommend the book. I hope you will use it with your students. We still got a couple of days of April. Thank you very much, and goodbye.